sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.1/shop. Let's see. Not a lot in the news, is there? Yeah, right. I see, New York Times really trying to sway. Oh, and a surprising endorsement. I am 100% shocked. Washington Post has now fully endorsed Hillary Clinton. I didn't see that coming. I mean, with all the pro-Trump articles they have been writing, the attack pieces on Hillary Clinton that they have written, and I can understand them supporting Hillary with all the accomplishments. Let's see if I can list them. Hold on. I can think of something here. I could think of something. Well, there's always... and there's, of course, yeah. It's no shocker they're backing Hillary. Them in New York Times. You now have a couple women coming forward and making allegations that Trump touched them inappropriately. So, they came at him with an old tape of him mouthing off. It didn't work. So now, all of a sudden, we get the allegations of Trump touching inappropriate. And so, on one of them, I was reading, it's kind of falling apart because the circumstances she was describing are not exactly adding up. And one of the facts she gave specifically was the armrest was moved up in this plane. Well, some people did some research into that time period because she gave a very specific, I think it was date and time. And the planes that were used with the first class, people were able to research, and the arms of the chairs did not fold up. There's a lot of stuff that's not adding up. And the timing, I really don't think this is going to be an issue. The media is going to try to make it an issue. I don't think the people are going to really put a lot of credence into this. The timing itself really One of the ladies, it's 30 years later. 30 years, and you haven't brought it up before. It's not like the guy wasn't in mainstream media. It's not like you couldn't find him that easy. Now that he's running for president and Hillary's in trouble, this lady comes forward. These are old. And they're truth and there's something wrong. But for you to wait 10, 20, 30 years, and the way the woman told the one story, I'm sorry, it's... Okay. Just making sure on something. It's kind of weird. Don't tell me. No, that's working. Huh. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I'm broadcasting. I got a listener says they can't find my feed, and I'm just checking on some things. And I mean, the gentleman's very smart, so that's why it had me kind of checking on some stuff real quick. And I was able to tap it into my other computer and make sure that it was broadcasting. Oh, I always try to make sure everything's working. I'm a blonde. Sometimes I screw up the buttons. I've done it before where all right, now they were looking for my live stream video feed, and I've taken that down. Hopefully, I know I keep saying hopefully Monday I'll be back up and running. It's redoing a couple things with everything that went on with the computers, and I don't always get to things when I want to. We got BZ calling in too. That would be perfect. If you haven't heard BZ before, you're in for a great treat. All right, let's wait for him to call in. Speaking of, good afternoon or good morning to you, BZ.
Well, it's Jersey Joe, the Reaver of Common Sense, if there ever were common sense in which to be reaved from the firmament above, it is Jersey Joe. And good morning here, good afternoon to you. Well, no, it's still morning there for you, too.
It's
11 o'clock,
yeah.
so yeah. So
Technically
it's not
still
quite
morning.
yet afternoon for you.
So what's going on with you, sir?
Oh, my God. It's like, what isn't going on right now? Pick a topic. Holy, talk about a target-rich environment today. What was your topic of...
Well, I started the show saying there's not really much in the news.
Right, of course. That's just... I guess we're going to have to talk about the weather.
Yeah. Speaking of, it's very beautiful, sunny Florida weather. Well, I touched briefly that I was shocked, and I can't believe that Washington Post endorsed Hillary. I mean, with all the pro-Trump and anti-Hillary articles they wrote, It's shocking to me that they're endorsing Hillary.
Yeah, but I think I know. Luckily, you're sitting down for this, but I think the Los Angeles Times actually endorsed Hillary Clinton. I was just extremely amazed about that as well. I mean, do these people not have any comments? Well, no. They're the Reaver of Common Sense. Of course, that's why they don't have common sense. It's like today, God, where do you start? Pick a topic. Any topic. Oh, my.
Well, I was on the Donald Trump, the new allegations of the women touching him, and it's, I'm sorry, you wait 30 years, 15 years, nothing smells right with this. It smells like a political hit piece. I hate to say that, I really do, but if you wait that long to step up, and the one lady, the way she was speaking, she couldn't even remember her own story. It's something doesn't smell right in Denmark.
Yeah, it's concerning. It hasn't taken him down. The other remarks that were made recently. Well, not recently, that were made 11 years ago. That hasn't taken him down. The weird thing is that I was just looking at some of the websites. A new Rasmussen poll has him up today. So apparently their strategy of burning him behind some words has been what we might term a little bit less than efficacious. Not exactly going the way they'd planned.
There was an MSNBC poll recently that they had to, they said it was skewed, so they had to adjust it, and it had Trump up. And they had to adjust it to put Hillary back ahead. CNN just got caught. What was it? 500 people, and it was 10% more Democrats in the poll than Republicans. These polls are getting nailed all the time for skewing. Oh, and that one CNN poll, the guy that was running it donates heavily to Hillary Clinton. There's an article on Reaver.one about it. These polls are getting caught left, right, and center, skewing their data heavily in Hillary Clinton's favor. And I saw that poll you're talking about with the 2% on Trump. That makes me wonder how much he really is ahead, because I've said it for a while. If they've got to skew the polls and rig them, and he's still ahead, how far ahead is he? And last night, and I brought it up on the show before, and I know it isn't an exact science, but ABC did a poll, should Trump drop out or should he stay in the race? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, pretty much the only people that are going to want him to stay in the race are his supporters. Hillary's supporters are going to want him out of the race. Do you think that's a wrong thought process?
No, not at all. You have to, it's like anything else in life, using common sense. And that's why people listen to you, because the things you say actually make sense, damn you. But the issue is you have to look at things in terms of their totality. You cannot isolate one particular incident or event or a news piece or a poll or an article. You have to have the ability somewhere, sometime to step back and begin to examine things overall in some kind of a larger, overarching umbrella.
Yep.
When you begin to do that, you begin to, a logical thinking human being, in my opinion, would start to question not only polls, but motivations. when you have the media that's beginning to tell you how you should think and how you should vote, then a good logical thinking, a critical thinking individual would begin to question, why is it that the media is pushing in a particular direction? For example, we know now that CNN has told people that there is no way, despite essentially any facts at all whatsoever, that they're going to even bring up or address the issue of allegedly Bill Clinton's son, who's been on all sorts of other media.
Yep.
But he won't be on CNN. Directly after the second presidential debate, a lot of the media outlets threw polls onto their sites. And those particular sort of quick polls were taken down when they began to discover that people who were giving their input as to who won the debate, it was beginning to lean in favor of Trump.
It was what, like,
not long after
I think
they put those polls up.
There was like, what, 15 or 20 sites that did that, and we're talking major, I want to say like the major newspapers, NBC, ABC, some of them, that were taking those polls down.
You know, I was talking last night on the Sackheads radio show, and towards the end, you know, depending on the motivation and the prairie winds and tidal pull and sunspots, some days I think, you know, Trump could actually pull it out, and some days I think, oh, my gosh, what has the GOP done? Well, not just in terms of Trump, that's another story for 10 to 20 hours. But in any event, last night I said, what if Donald Trump wins? What if he wins? And if he does, in let's say he wins in the Electoral College and wins in the popular vote, and he becomes president. What does that say? Hey, what will the media do? What I call the American media maggots.
Excuse the expression, but they would shit a brick right there.
What would they do? And what would leftists and Democrats do?
I think there'll be riots.
If that were actually to occur. If we as conservatives, and I say we as conservatives, not necessarily as people in the GOP, because my trust and faith in the GOP is twofold, slim and none.
Exactly.
But I say conservatives, the potentiality of that is absolutely staggering. And I believe that, especially stepping back, taking things in totality, it's not entirely impossible that he does pull this out. Lord knows. It's like, who could you possibly choose who is a more flawed personality than Donald Trump? But if he wins, what the hell does that say about the power of the media today? They have done everything in that humanly possible to support Hillary Clinton. And if they lose, I'm floored. I don't think it's impossible for this reason. I think there's a cadre of individuals out there, and they're like water running under a frozen river. They're there. They're present. They're sort of secretive. You can't really tell that they're around. But come November 8th on Tuesday, what if they actually go into that polling booth and they've not told a soul, they've not brought it up at all, or at the last moment they decide, all right, Donald Trump.
And that's, I brought it up during the show also, that's my parents. They're afraid to admit in any public setting, any poll, they will refuse to talk to for fear of some kind of reprisal against them. There is, especially within the elderly, because I talked to my aunt, several of my relatives, and they truly fear speaking up or promoting that they are Donald Trump supporters. They hear the stories of people being physically attacked, not just verbally, but physically. You have the case in New Jersey, a 60-some-year-old man was beaten by a 20-year-old with a tire iron simply because he had a Donald Trump T-shirt. I mean, I had kids last night. I mean, granted, it's only a sign. I have a Trump Pence sign in my yard. And these kids who just saw me literally walk into my house ran up on my yard to try to destroy the sign. These people don't care. They've been programmed. There is no other way. And that's what's happened. A lot of these people, I think that when Donald Trump is elected, and I really do think he will win, I think he's going to win by large numbers. I'm not trying to predict. It's just that's how I feel. I think he's going to win by large numbers. Like you said, there's more silence. And go back to an early point you made. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but that's the way my brain works. You brought up
it's
that
your show, damn it. You can do anything you want.
You talked about looking at all different data. And that's what I've done. It's not just, okay, I don't believe in the polls. I think they're rigged. Donald Trump's in the lead. No, there's no basis for any information or fact on that. But when you start looking at the polls are being skewed in one direction, you start looking at the massive difference in social media following. Donald Trump has a massive lead within Facebook, within Twitter, within Instagram. He has a massive amount of more followers. They say, well, that's because he was a celebrity, so he has more people following. Doesn't mean they're supporting him. These are the same people that said we have to pay attention to those numbers when it was Obama. Okay. But now let's look at the rallies, the major difference. It took Hillary Clinton a month and a half of rallies to get to 12,000 people. One rally after the first debate, which Trump was supposed to have lost. There's a lot of debate. I said from the beginning, it's going to come down to who you support is who you think won the debate. And I think it's going to go like that the rest of this year. Well, there's only one more debate. But he did 12,000 people, not even 12, 10,000 people is the low number to 14,000 were allowed inside. Then there was 8,000 people, again, a conservative number that was given by the police and all the inspectors. He had 18,000 people show up in one day. It takes her a month and a half. It's been proven she's had a rally in Philadelphia. Nobody signed up for it. They had to bus in high school kids and give them credit to sit through her speech. I watched another one, and I'm not talking just reading articles. I'm watching videos. She rented this hall space, and they had to put up those false walls to cut the amount down to 2/3 the amount of seats, and it was still only half filled. She's had to cancel like 3 events here in Florida because there's no one signing up to go see her speak. They say, well, that has nothing to do with the election. Yeah, it does. I mean, this is what they said about Obama. This is what drove him to the win. And the media is trying to hide those facts, hide this information from everybody, because it has everything to do with the election. When he's getting 10, 20,000 people at a shot, and she's getting barely 100 people at a shot, I think that screams what's actually going on.
Well, you're absolutely correct. If you look at some of the social media that's going on and you play some of the videos, I can't recall the name of the individual, but he put up a video, and he happened to be a delegate for Clinton, as a matter of fact, and didn't think that something like this was going on. But a recent rally indicated to him that he attended that there were people that were placed in the audience as seat fillers and nothing else.
Yeah.
And they want people that were motivated to go see her, in particular because of political orientation. They were persons that were grabbed and paid a paltry amount to go in and occupy a seat for a while during a rally. It's just like you say. That was a popular uprising for Obama. People knew exactly why. Hillary Clinton is as charming and spontaneous and as inspiring a particular individual as an eastern diamondback rattlesnake. She has that certain charm to her. There was a story going on not too terribly long ago which indicated that politically she was speaking to Bill Clinton and deigned to have specifically one child for him, so that it would appear as though they were a more unified family. She gave him, or both of them, one child and then stopped. I believe she would do anything for politics. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Anything. I do not believe that I have seen any person in my lifetime who is as craven politically as she is. She will do, in fact, anything to be in politics. She was gobsmacked in 2008 that she didn't win, particularly when the Democrats decided that they're going to go with their friend Mr. Obama due to melanin count.
Yeah.
And if she loses in 2016, all I can hope is that the Clintons just go away. Just go away.
Don't go away, man. Just go away. It's... Oh, sugar. Actually, we got to take a break. We're a little late for the break time. I didn't even realize that. It's been going by so good. We're going to be right back after this message. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising Radio, Speaker, YouTube, and iTunes. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow from a stupid throat.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I am honored to have BZ on the show today. And we're trying to make sense out of the senseless. Sometimes you can't do it, sometimes you can. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.1/shop. You can pick up kick-ass T-shirts. I mean, there's some, not just because I came up with them. I really do think they're kick-ass T-shirts, and I've been told that. The survival bracelets are an excellent option. You never know when you're going to need that rope to help you one day, so go to reaver.1/shop. One of the things I want to talk about, I want to see where your thinking is. With the name of the show, Reaver of Common Sense, BZ, can you decipher what that means?
Well, you, like I said, out of the clear air, you pull out common sense. You shine a light on common sense. And when a light is shined in a room which is formerly occupied with cockroaches, they tend to scatter into the darkest corners. And your show essentially illuminates what's actually going on as opposed to what people would want you to think is going on. Some people would call it propaganda. Well, propaganda is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
And propaganda occurs a little bit on both sides. But these days, it's like my own site. I said, the top of my thing says, I am pushback. Well, I have to be pushback.
Nobody else is.
Because the forces that are arrayed against conservatives are truly staggering, absolutely staggering. Someone has to, like you, step up and push back and say, we can't take this. We simply can't take this. This country has changed so much in the amount of time that I've been here. I'm glad my grandparents are dead. They wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't know. They wouldn't recognize this country.
My father doesn't recognize it.
My father served in World War II. He was a pilot in a B-17 for the 8th Air Force. He passed away in 2009. In that short amount of time, in 7 years, the amazing things that have occurred, and we're giving away the things for which he fought in World War II. It's astounding to think of where we're going.
Let me jump in, because it's one of the things that I've said repeatedly, and I got into it with my father-in-law about this. It's sad to see what we fought against, and so many of our men and women died for during World War II, which created the UN. We're now pushing, the UN is pushing, the United States is pushing, Europe is pushing the exact things we fought against during that great devastating war. And it sickens me that the forces that stood up against it are now pushing it, and it pisses me off to no end. Oh, sorry for interrupting. It's disgusting.
No, not at all. Number one, obviously, it's your show, so you get to do whatever the hell you want. That's why you have a show, by God.
With the name, why I brought it up, because a lot of people think, oh, Reaver of Common Sense, you're nothing but a Firefly fan. And it's like, no, actually, Reaver is old mythological. They were the bringers of death, and it's death to common sense. I like to see where people go with it.
Damn, I should have gone to Google to try to find out. I had my opportunity and I failed. I'm sorry, I failed miserably.
No. I like your take on it, too. No, a lot of people don't know that. It's also hard to find. I was playing a game, and I was looking for a new name on my character, and I was doing a lot of research into Greek and all that, and I came across, and I can't even find that website now, that the Reavers were just bringers of death. And so that's my character was Reaver, because we would run around destroying bases and sinking fleets. So I thought it was fitting. And then when I did the show, it just kind of fit together, death of common sense. So, and I wanted to try to give a little think piece, but the liberals are like, you are just copying Firefly. No, I'm not. It's where we're going in this country scares the living crap out of me. I think we have that silent majority now speaking up, and the silent that are going to vote against the mainstream. To me, I think the last 7.5, 8 years, they've went from that slow turning the boil up, the old frog in the water. It's been very slow. I think they turned up the socialism too fast, too hard, and it woke up, especially in Middle America, with that whole Lavoie incident, I can't think of the other one, the Bundy Ranch incident. It woke up Middle America, literally Middle America, that normally they kind of stay out of everything because they're the type of people, they want the federal government just to stay away from them type deal. They woke them up, and they pissed them off, and they're going to growl against everything that is the establishment, the media, the government. They're going to rail against it and not listen. And I think that is what's really pushing Trump's popularity. I think at this point, everybody's set on the way they're going to vote. I even heard a liberal say, why should we have a third debate? Everybody is set. You're not going to change anybody. The independents, they know who they're going to vote for already. It's people are tired of the direction the country is going in. They're tired of the typical politician, and Hillary represents everything of the establishment.
Absolutely true, but she's the only candidate that they have left. One of the reasons for that is because she's in a campaign have pulled essentially every dirty trick out of the Saul Alinsky dirty trick playbook against Bernie Sanders, who was her main competitor. Even today on Drudge Report, there are indicators, various stories, that there are Bernie Sanders supporters who are purposely moving over to Donald Trump. There was also a story about an individual, a black male of all people, who stated that he was attempting to rally as many supporters as he could who were formerly Bernie Sanders supporters over to the Donald Trump side. This is sort of one of the oddest, most strange confluence of political events that I've seen in my political history. I credit Ronald Reagan for making me politically aware. He was the first president and probably the last president for which I actually felt staggeringly patriotic for my country. It was a pleasure, a breath of fresh air, and an honor to vote for him. And what essentially ended up bringing him down in his second term was Iran-Contra. And, of course, that was brought to the forefront by the American media maggots. We have someone now in the guise of Hillary Clinton who has done the exact same thing with this major glaring exception. She had part and parcel involvement in the death of 4 Americans and then attempted to shine it on. And from that very night, she lied.
It's a video. It's not a video.
cover-up.
It's a video. It's not a video.
Well, the talking points were already made. She sent Susan Rice out that very next Sunday with all those talking points about the video. I don't know if you ever saw it. I found it on YouTube. For a while, it was extremely difficult to discern and to pull out. It was a ridiculous video. It had some of the world's worst production values that I'd ever seen. So if you think that the United States people are going to buy this, ... well, apparently a number of people in the United States bought that. And if you recall, because of that, people from the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department went and pulled this guy up. And then the feds violated his federal probation. I used to work for the feds. Do you know how difficult it is to get a revocation on a federal probation? You essentially have to prove that someone that a probationer has murdered someone before you can revoke someone's federal probation or parole. It takes damn near an act of God or a phone call from Hillary Clinton, either one. So she decided she was going to make that sad individual. And I'm not saying he's a sterling individual at all. He's probably a piece of crap.
Yeah.
But she made his life a living hell because he was convenient at the time.
It's on a different news. Sackhead Sean just put this up, and I was reading about it. U.S. has fired missiles at a Yemen, Yemen radar site, which is backed by Iran. So we just fired missiles at Iran, basically. Iran-backed forces, I should say. We just gave Iran how much money, and they're already starting a little war with us?
It is a perfect time of actual brain-glazing stupidity. Take Jazzy Joe, take a stance, any stance, that a conservative would take, or a belief system, or an opinion, and do the exact opposite, and that is exactly what you will get from the Obama administration. Here's the story on Yahoo News. U.S. military strikes Yemen after missile attacks on U.S. Navy ship. Well, those missile attacks happened to be launched from handheld rocket launchers. It says the U.S. military launched cruise missiles on Thursday against 3 coastal radar sites in areas of Yemen controlled by Iran-aligned Houthi forces after failed missile attacks this week on the U.S. Navy destroyer, U.S. officials said. Stop just a moment. I've found it absolutely, these days, incredible to think that Mr. Obama, well, I'm wondering how long the captain of that ship will be a commander in the United States Navy, because he took independent action following that and lobbed a few shells back at the point of origin. If that guy has a future in the Navy, I'll be a little bit shocked.
Yeah.
Several hours later, Iran announced that it sent 2 warships to the Gulf of Aden, according to the semi-official Tasnim news agency, establishing a military presence in waters off Yemen. Putin is pushing. Iran is pushing. If there's one thing that leftists have absolutely little, if any, grasp on, is human nature. What do you do? Well, what in school? What do leftists tell children if they're attacked by a bully? Don't hit back.
Run to a teacher. Tell an adult. My days, it was stand up to the bullies, and that's what stopped them. And to be exact, I told a story the other day. It was my sophomore year. Every day, walking home from school, I got beat up by these 3 black kids. Every day, they'd beat me up. I was short. I was fat. Over the summer, I was working on my grandfather's farm and lost 50 pounds in 2 weeks doing that. I gained like 4 or 5 inches over the summer. And when I came back, I was standing up for myself, and I never got my ass kicked again by those bullies ever again. I stood up to them, and that stopped them. Sorry. Go ahead, because this whole...
I use that as an analogy to where we are today. And that is a prevailing philosophy in the leftist side of events. It's a no-tolerance policy, so that if a bully takes it upon himself or herself to begin to kick the arse of someone else, that the person who strikes back, who is not the instigator, is in every bit as much trouble defending himself as the person who originally began the assault itself, besides being the exact exemplification of insanity. Now take that as a philosophy, as a prevailing overarching philosophy, and then apply it to D.C. That is exactly what's been going on for the past 8 years, and that's exactly what we shall see in a Hillary Clinton administration. Why are these people, these countries, these nation states supposedly beginning to overact as they are right now? And specifically, I'm referring to China and the North China Sea and their military presence there. And I'm referring to Russia, and I'm referring to North Korea, and I'm referring to Iran. Excuse me. Why is it that that now suddenly, towards the end of a second term of Barack Hussein Obama, why is it that these countries, who are no friends of the United States, why is it that these actors are now making bold moves against the United States of America? It's because they are A, bullies, that's their nature, that's what they do, and B, they have garnered no response. Ladies and gentlemen, examine human nature. The analogy that I made with regard to bullies in school is no different when you kick it up a few notches, and about 30 or 40 years with regard to the alleged maturity of people who don't understand, people in the guise of leftists, who don't have any fundamental understanding of how folks work. They think that folks think precisely as they do. They've been raised in a cocoon of their own creation, where they've been supping at the trough of Jeremiah Wright, Saul Alinsky, Cloward Piven, the Communist Party, socialists, Bernie Sanders, and it's no shock upon examination why it is that we're getting who it is that we have today. The response that we're getting from those particular nation states is no more or less than what occurred in 1995 when President Clinton essentially made no response to the first bombing of the World Trade Center. What we've done over our history when there's no reaction like this is we have told people that we are, in fact, a paper tiger and they need to step it up. Yeah. So it comes as no surprise, if you are a studier of human nature, that bullies are going to push the envelope as much as they possibly can. What portion of that do these people absolutely not grasp? It's human nature. They are not studiers of human nature. They are studiers of the lint of their own belly buttons, and that's it.
I like that.
They are navel-gazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing, just the state we are in this country. I know it veers a little bit away, but it's just our country is going down in flames, and people are more worried about gossip. And I don't even want to say that because the establishment is more worried about that. This country we're getting dominated by other countries, which is not what our United States is about. We've always been a leader. Now we're being told to follow. Nothing ever comes good from following, at least in my experience. You either do your own thing or you lead. Whenever couple of times in history that I can remember, we have gone away from that leading, and we've kind of either done our own thing or try to follow, and nothing's ever come good in the world history. It's never a good thing for us to do it. What is it? Pre-World War II, we kind of backed away from the world, and look what happened. We've backed away now, and look what's happening to the world in general. It's just going to hell. Like you said, China, Russia, Iran, they're all stepping up, and we're just sitting there going, okay. Russia's kind of doing I'm going to take this country. Okay. We're just going to take this country. Okay, that's the last one. Does that remind you of anything?
Well, when I hear something like that, one of the first things that comes to mind is the appeasement and the capitulation that occurred across the pond over in the United Kingdom during, say, right around 38, 39, 37, where people didn't want to know and didn't want to see or understand what was being fomented in Germany. Even then, it was Nazi Germany. You had a particular ambassador in the United Kingdom by the name of Neville Chamberlain, who had meetings with Adolf Hitler and specifically would appease him. And what you got out of that state of mind was World War II. There's another term that comes up, which is quisling. I don't know if you've ever heard of that term. A quisling basically is a traitor who collaborates with an enemy force occupying their country. And that comes from a bit of history as well. It was a guy, what the hell was his first name? Vidkun or something like that. He was a Norwegian military officer. And I think he was also a politician who was the head of Norway after the country was occupied by Nazi Germany in World War II. And he was a cooperator with Nazi Germany because he didn't have the balls to stand up. And now his last name is a term for surrender and capitulation. If you're a quisling, if someone calls you a quisling, you should turn right around and smack that person in the mouth.
Never heard that one before.
And yet, if you ever, I use that term every now and then when it's applicable, but we have quislings now in our very own State Department, in our very own government. Barack Obama himself, he's not unlike Islam. Islam tells you that they want to kill you. Islam is very, in my opinion, very clear about what it is that they want. You either go along with them or you will be assimilated, or they just as soon kill you. Barack Obama himself, not unlike Islam, said that we must lead from behind. And the media bit upon that. Yeah. When I first heard that, I thought, what? I'm sorry. I almost dropped an F-bomb on your show.
Oh, I drop F-bombs all the time.
What are you thinking? There is no leading from behind. I'm sorry, just doing that makes me remind of the phrase, there's no crying in baseball.
It's...
There's no leading from behind. Are you insane?
How do you lead up from behind?
Leading from behind? What the hell kind of term is that? Leading from behind.
I'm running the marathon. I'm winning from last place. Sounds like a bunch of loser talk that doesn't want to get up and do anything. Well, I came in last place. I was the winner. Hey, to cut you off, I got to hit a break. And I believe your time's up for today. You have to get out of here. So, give my listeners where they can find you on.
Yes, if you ever happen to be cruising the Twitter world, I'm at BZEP, BZEP, and I own my own domain name. Should the FCC or Google or somebody like that decide that they're going to kill all conservatives, so I'm at bloviatingzeppelin.net. Thank you ever so kindly for having me on your show, Sir Jersey Joe.
Anytime, sir. And stay on the phone while we go to break. I got to ask you a quick question. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising, iTunes, YouTube, and Speaker. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying confidence, stupid bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its host, the Jersey Boy Voice, Jersey Joe, and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to...
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee, stupid bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its host, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to support the show and get a kick-ass t-shirt for support SHR Media, go to reaver.one/shop. That was the great VZ. I love having him on. It is right now. I'm gonna just put it as, look how desperate the Democrats are right now. They're desperate. They are slinging mud like there's no tomorrow. They had that audio tape for months, and they sat on it. So if they thought it was real and that important, they wouldn't have waited. They would have put it out there earlier. The supposed accusations now of him inappropriate touching. Why? Why wait till now? Why wait so long? Because it's fabrication. It's the timing, the stories don't add up. The telling of the stories seems like very bad acting to me, to be honest. It looks like, that story didn't make it, nobody's believing it. So it's time to up the ante, and we're going to go and try this now. That's what exactly it looks like. And I'm not buying it. I am not buying it one bit. Oh, and the GOP senators that are defecting from Trump are the ones that back amnesty. A lot of them are part of that gang of 8. So, I don't exactly... Kelly from New Hampshire, Susan Collins, Jeff Flake, John McCain, Lisa Murkowski, all 6 of them voted for the Gang of 8 bill. All Ryan. So, yeah, I don't buy the bullshit. actual misconduct. Where is it? So I'm going to play a little audio for you. Hello? Speaking. Yes. I'm doing okay. Yeah. 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 I've never had a dealing with him until that day. I didn't even know who the hell he was. Yeah. Hey, can I ask one favor, please? Can I call after 1 o'clock? I do a radio show, and I'm on air. I have a audio thing playing right now, so and yeah, I don't want to ignore you. I want to talk, and I don't want to fight. I wasn't even trying to do anything that day, and it's just I was walking home. Yep. Okay. Yep, I will. Bye. It's absolutely a joke. Absolutely a joke. The Clinton campaign, contrary to we go high when they go low, have only been going low. That's the Clinton campaign. And just because they say they're going high, well, I can say I'm not fat. That doesn't change that I'm fat. Um, you know, I can say I'm the Pope doesn't make me the Pope. They have been going low. They've been doing all the dirty tricks. Hell, that's the article I was looking for. The conspiracy theory that there's voter fraud. Yeah. Then why, Bertel, is there an email? No, this is going to be there is a leaked email that Hillary was talking about. They were afraid there was going to be Obama-style voter fraud. These things are happening. The Democrat Party sinks to any low that it can go. Any low. It's absolutely a joke. It's trying to see something. Yeah, I'm going over a story that talks about the woman that claimed inappropriate touching, claims Trump lifted the armrest and began touching her inappropriately. First class seats do not have armrests that raise up, and they never have. Longtime pilot posted last night on Reddit regarding the details of the accuser's story. The story doesn't seem plausible. The reason armrests fold up in economy class is that the rows are so close together that many people couldn't get out of their seats otherwise in first class. This isn't an issue. We've also looked at as many first class pictures as I could find on Google imaging search. Nothing, not a single holding arm rest. It's 30 years later. I can't get right there. It's 30 years later. 30 years later. And never even a hint that there was an issue. This tactic scale. This shows just how low and deplorable and disgusting the Democrat Party will go to try to finish destroying this country. I don't know. It's got me like sick, physically sick. The lying, outright, just appalling attitudes of them right now. I know I'm kind of stammering here because it just. Trump was in Florida yesterday. He did a couple stops. I wish I would have known I would have gone out to Lakeland. It's real close to my house. And he promises a Brett exit. Doubles down on Hillary going to jail for deleting emails. The massive crowds. Thousands of people showed up. Hillary can't get these numbers. She cannot get anywhere near these numbers, no matter what her paid accounts say. And that was another thing I meant to bring up with BZ. How many people on Twitter that are arguing for Hillary? If you look at their goddamn profile, they're not even in the United States. They're not from the United States. They can't vote in the United States. The one I got an argument with was complaining about Russia interfering. Foreign entities should not be interfering in U.S. elections. Not fair. As she bounces between the UK and Dubai. But you're interfering. Oh no, you see, your elections affect our country, so I have a right to have a say. Well, then so does Russia. Crickets. They blocked me at that point because they know I have them dead to rights. It's unbelievable. Well, it is unbelievable. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Flight Planet Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising Radio, YouTube, Spreaker, and iTunes. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I am making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do you want to support the show? Do you want to support SHR Media? Go to Reaver.one/shop and pick up a kick-ass t-shirt. So, let's see where are we at. My fun is, I had gotten a call from my HOA about all the bullshit that went down. So, as soon as we kind of get done with the show, I get to call him and see if we can resolve these issues. And actually, hopefully we can resolve them like adults, because all the shit that's going on I mean, they sent issues with my house to a lawyer, and the lawyer sent me a letter. And one of them was because I had a tarp on my roof because I had a hole in my roof. And it's Florida, we get a lot of rain. Because of my physical limitations, financial. I mow my lawn every 2 weeks. We had a lot of rain. It gets a little high, but every 2 weeks I have mowed it. And it just... And they're trying to nitpick, especially for the tarp. I have a legal right to protect my house, both safety and health-wise. I mean, we're starting to get mold and mildew that the insurance company already paid a shitload of money to remove. So, I don't know, it's all wrong. I don't know. Some days this stuff, equipment's working fine, and other days I think it's the software, because the software is showing I'm not barely broadcasting. Oh, another day in paradise. I don't know. Something doesn't sound right, does it? I think I got an issue with software. So I'm actually going to end the show early today because of that issue, because it doesn't sound like I'm broadcasting too good. I will be back tomorrow with the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Funded Radio. Something's not right. Something is not going right with the audio. God bless it. We will be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.